Good evening, people. Welcome back to Cruising on Crypto. I am Craig. If you want a channel that talks not only about crypto, because those are common, but talking about getting passive income while you hold your favorite cryptocurrency through staking, yield farming, ohm forks, and more, then this is the channel for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and, of course, the bell notification to let you know the moment one of these come out, because a lot of these are very time sensitive. The numbers that are on the screen may not be the numbers you see if you look at this a week later. So time is of the essence. So hit that bell notification. So tonight we're going to be talking about another ohm fork on the Binance Smart Chain called Nemesis DAO. Now, I've had my own money in this for a little bit. And as you know, from my previous episode or two, I've been talking about, it has been a harsh time to be in the DAOs. It's been a risk-off market, which means anything that has any perceived risk over the last couple of weeks has absolutely been decimated in price because everybody's running away from the more aggressive coins out there. And of course, the DAOs are on the spectrum of safest to most aggressive. They are definitely on the most aggressive side. So the prices have been impacted greatly. But a few of the DAOs have actually kind of outperformed in the sense that over the last week, while everything else was crashing, including some that I'll show you that are the granddaddies, the blue chips, such as Olympus DAO and Time Wonderland, have been going down. A few have been going up, and one of them is the one I'm about to show you. And I think it's because there are a lot of positive attributes, not only what's going on now, but what's going to be going on in the future. And I've been in contact with the developers, and they've given me a little list of the things that they've got that they've just recently changed and things that they plan for the future. So there's a lot to cover in this episode. I will show you that list. I'll throw it on the screen so you can see it all. You can read it for yourself. There's a lot. And then I'm also going to do a quick how do you stake, how do you buy a bond, and whatnot for Nemesis DAO. So let's get right into it. Okay, so this is nemesisdao.finance. That's what it is. That's the real one. But in case you can't remember, always the safest way to make sure you go to the right website and not one of those scam websites that look like the place you meant to be. Go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, pull up the coin. In this case, it's NMS for Nemesis. When you get on there, you'll see the whole list of the information about Nemesis, and there'll always be a website link from CoinMarketCap. Click on it, or CoinGecko. Click on it and you will go to the appropriate one. I've been scammed once, which some of my viewers know, by going to Google and typing in what I thought was the website, and they paid for an ad to be at the top, and it brought me to a scam site, and I lost my crypto. So don't do that. It's very, very bad. So yeah, this is Nemesis DAO. This is the link thing. When you get here, you're going to hit connect, or sometimes on these, it'll say connect to app, and it'll bring you to another website. But this is a beautiful front page, and I wanted to showcase this. This is the stuff like Surtech. They are audited, Hotbit, BSC Daily. They are a Binance Smart Chain DAO, so they get a lot of coverage in Binance Smart Chain as well as Binance Smart Chain News, and they are on CoinMarketCap, so you can get all the information about the trading volume and all that stuff you usually get at CoinMarketCap. So that kind of shows you that they've been around and they are a larger DAO on the Binance Smart Chain. Once you click going into the app, you'll get the desktop or the dashboard. So you got dashboard, staking, bonds, a calculator to tell you what your future might hold if you stake for a certain amount of time, and you could wrap your stuff. You can see all of that along the left side, so whichever one you want to click on, that is what you'll go to. So I'm going to bring up a list of the important things that the developers mentioned to me, and here it is. So right off the bat, this was written about a week ago, and it said best time to get in, current price is very close to the backing price. So what they're talking about is here. The backing price is 465, and you go, well, it's not that close. It's 924. So what are you talking about? And I'll show you the price. So this is the price of Nemesis over the last week. So when this was written, it was back here. Nemesis was close to the backing price of 4 something, right? So that's why he wrote that. The developer told me this is the best time to get into Nemesis. We have all these plans, and I will talk about those plans in a second. But sure enough, since he's written that, look at this. Nemesis is right now at 927. And you go, okay, well, is that good? Maybe everything's been going up. Well, let me show you the granddaddy of them all, Olympus DAO. So this is the Olympus DAO chart for the exact same time frame. As you can see, not pretty at all. And that's not just Ohm, that is a lot of the DAOs. Like I said, the risk off trade's been going on. Anything that's perceived as risky has been kind of shunned by the general public. So to have a chart that looks like this over the last week is pretty impressive. It's very impressive. And you might be thinking, well, why are they fighting the trend? Well, we'll go back to the list. Some of it, I'll leave it on screen so you can read it. But some of the highlights are there's huge contract features, updates are on the way, daily buybacks and burns. So that's important. Because one thing about a DAO, everybody always says, is when people buy bonds, the bonds are here. They buy bonds, this money that comes in is in essence minting more DAO coins, in this case NMS. So people will think, well, if they don't do buyback and burns, there's always more coins being minted, which means your slice of the pie, if you're not keeping up, is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. So them buying back with their profits and burning is very important, and not all DAOs do that. It says it has the highest APY compared to market cap. So what they're saying there is on Binance Smart Chain, we go to market cap, go back to the dashboard. Market cap is over almost $26 million. It is one of the biggest ones on Binance Smart Chain. I think the next biggest one might be Templar DAO, 19 million, but high market cap, which gives you that safety feeling. So what they're saying there is, look at the size of our market cap. We are big. We are one of the biggest ones on the Binance Smart Chain, and yet we're still able to pay out a very eye-popping APY. They're also now about double the price of the backing price, which you might think is high until you go to, I don't know, Olympus DAO is 3.7 times, and Time Wonderland is like 6 times. So you got to compare it, to other bigger DAOs and say, is that a good ratio or not? But generally what they're saying is they are large. That gives you some feeling of safety. They have a good runway too, 206 days. That's pretty good for a newer DAO. Now, I think Nemesis has been around for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months at the most. So it's not very old. So the fact that they've got a runway of over 200 days is good. And what runway means is if not another dime came into Nemesis DAO, and they paid out the same crazy APY they're paying out now, how long could they continue to pay it out before they'd run out of money? They could continue to pay it out for 206 more days at 17 million. And if they ever started to feel like they were getting constrained, they would just lower this APY to something more reasonable, which would extend this runway. So that's pretty impressive that they've got 206 days of payment at 17 million % APY. So that's APY, remember, not APR. APR is what you get paid every day. This says if you get paid that same amount every day, you'd get $17.6 million or million %, which is, not sustainable for an entire year. So let's keep that out there. This number is more marketing than it is reality because no DAO can afford to pay this. But think of this as an early adopter bonus. If you get in early in one of these DAOs and you believe in the team that's created it, you believe the roadmap is valid and that they've got great plans to go on to do other things, then this is an early adopter bonus. Think of it that way. So again, they are CertiK audited and they are KYC'd, which means that the developers have given out their real information to BlockPass. They are one of the highest liquidity to market cap. So these are all ratios that are important to show the safety. They've done airdrops recently and it did not affect the price. In fact, their market cap went from 10 million market cap to 17 million market cap while they were rewarding their stakers with airdrops. They've been doing live AMAs, which is something that people who feel like, I don't know if I know these devs well enough. They're not KYC'd to me. Maybe they're KYC'd to BlockPass, but I don't know them. How do I know I can trust them? Well, an AMA, a live session where you can ask the developers anything, is something on Telegram, which is something that makes people feel like their concerns are being heard. They can hear about the roadmap. It makes people feel more comfortable. Their governance has just started. If you go over here to the governance button, you'll see that they do have a voting area now, and they've only got the one vote in there. How do you think Nemesis is doing so far? So like I said, that's just started, but that's something you want in a DAO where you can vote based on the number of Nemesis coins you have on the future of the project. That has just started. Their website has just been revamped. They didn't used to have a calculator, and that's something people always like to play around with. They say how many they've got right now, and you can see my real number. That's how many Nemesis I have staked. I also have a bond, which I'll show you in a second. And you can use whatever APY that you want, whether it's the one that's right now, or you can lower it a lot to see where you will be in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I've done that in other episodes, so I won't waste your time with that, but you can play around with what you think the future price is going to be. They haven't changed it. The starting price and the end price are the same. You can lower the APY to something a lot more believable for the long run. If you're going to stretch it out to like half a year, you're not going to get 17 million % for half a year. Bring it down to like 100,000%, and then you can play. Now, keep in mind, this is the average over that time. So if it starts at 17.6 million, even if you say, it's going to go down to 100,000, But how soon, right? Is it going to be going down there in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months? It'll affect what your average APY is. So when you say 100,000, you're saying your average over the 6 months, if you're doing 6 months, is 100,000, which means if it's high now, it would have to be really low later to average out to 100,000. So don't go conservative for sure, but don't go crazy and bring it down to like 40,000 as if the whole 6 months is 40,000, because that implies that in the future, the APY would be almost zero to get that low of an average. Hopefully you know what I mean. Now, jumping back to the list, they say right here, the Medium page will be available this week. A Medium page in my mind is very important. It's like a magazine article about the new changes coming in your DAO or whatever DeFi project you're in. You want to see a Medium page. If you look down here at the bottom of the page, they don't currently have a Medium. They've got a Twitter, they've got a Discord, and they got a Telegram. They do not have a Medium page. And I'm glad that they addressed that. A Medium page will definitely give you the lay of the land in a beautifully photos inlaid and all that stuff, talking about what the roadmap is of the future in something that's pleasing to the eye to actually read. So I'm glad they're going to do that. Now, I'm filming this one day before this, but it says the roadmap for 2022 will be released on Wednesday at the latest. Well, it's Monday. So if this was 2 days from now, I'd be able to tell you what the new roadmap is. Maybe they will want me to do another video about it then. We shall see. And the brand identity revamp is coming for the logo, the banners, the website. All graphical materials will be updated. So I guess they're changing their logos and whatnot. Not that that affects the value of the coin per se, but more marketing in general gives more appeal to the coin, broader awareness. So marketing is important for these DAOs because it is a system where they need new money to build the treasury, to do what they want with the treasury. Some of the DAOs have become VC funds, some are hedge funds. Generally, the rule of thumb is the treasury needs to be invested somewhere to make a very good rate of return so that the treasury grows. And as the treasury grows, then they can continue to pay out the stakeholders, which is the owners of Nemesis, in this case, that have staked their coins, pay them a good APY. Not 17.6 million, because that is not believable for the long run, but something really respectable, something more than you can get in a normal yield farming project like ApeSwap or PancakeSwap, where you put in your coins, you marry two together, and you're making 60% or something like that. Which, of course, by the old brick and mortar banking system, 60% is pretty damn good. But when you compare it to DAOs that are paying hundreds of thousands of percent or even 50,000%, 60% just seems pales in comparison. So there you go. A lot of good things coming in the future. The devs seem super switched on, smart on their AMAs and everything. They're saying really great things that make people excited. And that's why you're seeing this chart going up, because people are excited about the future. So let's go in quickly about how you invest in this. So of course, up here in the top right corner, there's the buy NMS, and you usually can buy it on PancakeSwap, but they also have bogged.swap. I've never used bogged, but if you hit PancakeSwap, of course, you will go to PancakeSwap and you will see usually it'll default to the one that's most common, BUSD to Nemesis, and that's where you would buy the Nemesis coin if you wanted to go that route. Another way that I often suggest to my tutor students how to do this is go with a bond. Assuming the bonds are paying a decent 5-day ROI, go that route. So you click on the bonds. As you can see, I've already got a bond of Nemesis BUSD. So what happens is, let's just say I don't remember what the 5-day ROI is here, but what this really means is you are getting the price of the Nemesis coin for a, right now, 15.96% discount over the going rate. As we saw over here on the dashboard, the going rate right now is $922. But if you buy a bond with BUSD, you're going to get it for $830. But if you do the little extra legwork and get a Nemesis/BUSD liquidity pool token, then you can click bond here. This will come up and you can say, if you had the liquidity pool, you can see I have 0 new ones. But if I had 10, I could hit max and it would show up 10 here, and then you'd hit bond and you'd have a new bond. And when you do have a new bond, it shows up here. Ooh, too zoomed in. It shows up here in your bonds. And then what happens is every few minutes, a little bit more of what you have pending goes into the claimable section. And now the way you want to maximize your return is you got the reward for buying the bond, the discount on the price. And then as this clock goes to 0, you got 5 hours and 19 minutes, but let's just say for argument's sake, it said 15 minutes left. Then you'd go back to your bond area here. And by then your claimable maximum amount before the rebase period ends would be the highest it possibly could be. If you could do it within 5 minutes of the end, even better. But a lot of times you don't want to wait too late, because if there's any glitchiness at the time and you miss the deadline, then you miss that whole 8-hour window and you get no credit for the claimable that you did. So what you would do is you'd hit claim. This amount would deduct from my pending. It would then show up on the staked area here in your balance. You see I've got 0 because I got no Nemesis ready to be staked. If I claimed it, it would show up here, and then I would hit max to bring whatever's here up into this area and hit stake claim. It then gets added to my Nemesis down here in the staked balance. You can see that I've got 1.5246 staked already. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy to follow. Once you've done one of these DAOs, they're all pretty much the same format. The only things that I would change if I was the Nemesis developers is 2 things. Actually, probably more than 2 things, but I just want to be honest here. The dashboard, not pretty. These are the numbers you need, but I personally need visual reinforcement of whether the chart's going up or the chart is going down, because a number, if you don't remember what the number was yesterday, you don't know if that number is getting better or worse. Prime example, let's go to Olympus, the granddaddy of them all, the one that everybody else forked off of. This is their front page. Same numbers, they're telling you the exact same numbers, but instead of just giving you the number, they're giving you the graph. So you can see that in this case, the total value deposited went up until about November 26th, had a big drop off, like I said, risk off, kind of came back a bit, and then recently has been dropping off again. So this is what I would like Nemesis to do. This just isn't doing it for me. Even if this is the greatest project in the world, I would be at the AMA saying, when are you going to change your dashboard to something that I can actually see the charts getting better or worse? That's one thing. Another thing is in the bonds area, a lot of them are going to another button called claim and stake. Instead of me having to claim and then go over here to the stake and then hit stake, max stake, you should be able to, from the bond section, do it all with one button. Should be a button right here that says claim and stake. So you press the button once, it does the whole circle of things for you in one step. Small point, that one's not as big. The dashboard one's a bigger deal for me because I want to be able to see if things are getting better or worse without trying to write down what the number was yesterday, a week ago, whatnot. I'm sure most of you would agree with that. And a small gripe, I know other people have said this too, I'm not a big fan of these calculator pages. I like the calculator pages. I don't like the how many Lambos do I get. Seems a bit cheesy, right? Like how many Lambo? I don't even want a Lambo. Why would I care how many Lambos I have? But yeah, this is supposed to be telling you what your future value would be. I just don't need to know in Lambos. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only 3 things I can think of that if I was at an AMA or if I was talking to the devs about things I would improve the dashboard, make claiming a little easier by having one button do it all for you, and get rid of the cheesy how many Lambos am I going to get? Because not everybody wants a Lambo. I know it's kind of a meme when Lambo in the crypto world, but you know, enough is enough. Too many of these sites are doing the when Lambo in their calculator, and I just don't think it's necessary. But overall, as you can see, I have my own money invested in this. Not one of my bigger bags, but I've been really impressed with the chart, and I've been really impressed with their AMAs and their future roadmap. There's more coming, like I said, on Wednesday, and they're going to have more coming in the future weeks. So yeah, if you haven't already, go check out Nemesis DAO. See if you're impressed as well. It's on the Binance Smart Chain, so if you're already a Binance Smart Chain DeFi user, it might be easier. Some of the other ones I've shown you have been on things like Moon River or Avalanche or other areas where you've got to kind of, now you got to bridge your coins over there. It can be kind of a pain if you are a Binance Smart Chain kind of resident. This is pretty easy. If you're already on Binance Smart Chain, this is one of my favorite DAOs on the Binance Smart Chain. So there you go. Hopefully you found this informative or educational. If so, show the channel some love by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And that's it. Until next time, this is Craig signing off, wishing you happiness, health, and wealth in that order. Ciao for now.